everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to super short reviews where I review 41 games in I don't know how long. I'll start to stopwatch in a bit. I do want to mention before I do this, these are very short snippet reviews of these games, just to give you a quick update on all of them. However, most of these games have a full review, or they will have a full review, or they'll get one of our shorter reviews, but that will still be longer than this. So we try to cover as many games. There are a few games that this is the only time you'll hear me mention them, but that is the vast minority of these games. So 41 games, alphabetical order, let's start. So first we have 5 Wards. This is a kind of a mob boss type area control game. A lot of really interesting ideas and fun things, but it's just missing that something to push it over the edge. The game kind of fizzles out. A few minor component issues too, so I'm giving it a 6.5. Betrayal, Deck of Lost Souls. This is a card game, party game based on the Betrayal House on the Hill thing, and it's awful. It is the worst game I played in 2024 so far. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. It's just terrible iconography, unfun gameplay, overly complex. I hate everything about it. Bossa. This is an abstract Japanese game that uses dice and places them in order. I've played it a few times here, and it's interesting. I'm just not sure that there's a lot of strategy to the game. It feels like strategy. I'm just not sure it's there. Beautiful components, though. Well, there's actually many different versions, but there's even nicer ones than the one I played. But a 6 out of 10. Canosa. This is another abstract strategy game where you have sirens, and each player is playing a siren, and you're trying to lure the sailors over to their side. It's an interesting abstract game, but again, just kind of missing that something to make it amazing. 6.5 for me. Catan, Starfarer's Duel. This is a remake of Starship Catan, the 2-player game, and it is a pretty faithful implementation. Very nice components, little memory. I give this one an 8. I would give it even higher, but I think it's a smidge longer than it needs to be. But it is a very fun 2-player game that, oddly enough, uses memory as one of its main mechanisms. Color Fields. This is a kind of a boring game. It really is, of putting out these color tiles in front of you and trying to make stuff match. And there's just not enough there for it to be fun. 5 out of 10. Comet. In this game, you are a little beast trying to get dinosaurs. You're like riding on dinosaurs or whatever, getting them to safety. And it's an interesting card mechanism where you're discarding cards to move your creatures, or you're playing them as creatures and then you score points. There's a lot of interesting ideas to the game. A 7 out of 10. Cosmic Cow Collectors. I really thought this would be a funny game where you roll dice and you're collecting cows and stuff, but it's just too lucky to be fun. A 5 out of 10. Digsaw. This is a game where you're rolling dice, and then based on what's rolled, you're going to be cutting different sections on a piece of paper, and you're trying to cut out the different sections. It's just boring. It's okay. This is the 3rd scissor game I've played now, and I've yet to play one I think is unbelievable, but of the 3 I played, this is my least favorite. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think there's a lot there that gets me excited about it, so it's just a 6 out of 10. Farm Club. This game looks like a pig, the cover. It looks like a kid's game. It's not quite a kid's game. You're drafting a card and an animal and putting them in a 3x3 grid. There's so many of these games out there. This one doesn't really stand out. Not bad. All over before I want to finish it. 6 out of 10. Finding Atlantis. This one is a truncated review of this because I think the app is so terrible in this competitive deduction game that it kind of ruins the whole experience. 5 out of 10. Gloomhaven Button and Bugs. This is the solo small version. I mean, look, Gloomhaven, a tiny box. But it does work. It's a fun little puzzle. I don't think it achieves the greatness of Gloomhaven, but I also don't think it's trying to. But they do manage to put a lot of Gloomhaven into the box, and it's a lot of fun. 8 out of 10. Hide My Key. This is a game in which you are moving cubes, flipping cubes, and attacking each other. Really didn't enjoy this abstract game. It's pretty. Looks like it should do better than it does, but it's just a 5 out of 10 for me. Katamino Tower. So this is an abstract puzzle, basically, where, you know those puzzles you put a bunch of shapes in? It's called Katamino, but there's a lot of versions of it in a grid. This one, it's wrapped around a tower, which I think doubles the difficulty. It really does. It also doesn't store as well as I want. It's a fine puzzle. I just wish that it just didn't fall apart if you moved it at all. So I'm just giving it a 6 out of 10. Let's Go to Japan. This fantastically produced game. I have the deluxe version, but it's full of theme. It's great production value, but the game itself is a lot of fun. It takes almost longer to score the game than to play it. It's one of those type of games. I'm just very happy with this one, 8 out of 10. Message from the Stars. This is a cooperative deduction game, one of my favorite ones I've ever played. One person's the alien working with the people to get some clues back and forth. I love it, a 9 out of 10. Mind Map. This is a party game that's played on, like you have a grid, like I'm going to put my answers here and you have to figure out who put what where, or what word clue they have. It's hard to explain. You have to watch. I'll do a full review later on, but it's just not enough information for it to be good. I really wanted to like this game, but I ended up disliking it, a 5 out of 10. Nautilus Island. I think Chris and Z reviewed this one earlier, where you're collecting cards and going back and forth. I think the components are an issue, and I think the game's not particularly that interesting, but there's some fun moments to it. There's some interesting things. It just misses being good, though. 6 out of 10. Neighborhood Hide and Seek. This is a puzzle game from Chip Theory Games, in which you are placing out tiles on a board, trying to match them in there. Magnetic, really good production, 7.5. Neuro Riders. This, you're going through someone's brain and moving these different pieces through, and it's a messy, non-interesting game. I really disliked it, 4 out of 10. On the Road. Speaking of games I disliked, didn't like this one either. Leo Calavini, this is your rock band, and you're playing cards to move down a path. You don't want to move down too fast, or you do. It's just boring and terrible. And also crazy amounts of luck, 4 out of 10. Pátzcuaro, this one is a fun theme of the this festival, but it's bright and colorful. It just needs to be a bit more. Maybe on further plays, I like this one, but it's just missing what I want it to be, 6 out of 10. Pigs on Trampolines. You're bouncing a pig off a trampoline into a box or onto a target. I thought this would be hilarious. Someone sent it to me, great idea. But the trampolines are too bouncy. The pigs, it's just crazy. If you can land them on the target, anywhere on the target, you're having a good day. 5 out of 10. Piles. This is basically a big game of spoons where you're trading cards in the middle and trying to get sets of 4. I mean, that's not quite what it is, but it's kind of like that overall, and it's a 6 out of 10. It's an interesting way to pass some time, but nothing really fancy. You're just collecting sets of clothing. Pixel Party. This is another one of those Chip Theory solo games for kids, where you have these black and white different polyominoes you're putting on to match these things, and it works really well. That is a 7 out of 10. Pokemon Splendor. Don't want to talk too much about this one because it's hard to get, but it's a Pokemon version of Splendor from Korea. It's better than Splendor. They fix a few things, and the Pokemon theme, evolving your Pokemon, actually works really well. 8.5. Seaside, a game that they said you can play at the beach. Sure, but to push your luck, there's a few too many rules for how simple the game is, and the game can have some really, really crazy, weird swings to it. So it's interesting, but not enough for me. 6 out of 10. Sequitur. This is a word game where you have these really cool like bingo balls that are in this little cup, and you are rearranging the order of them to form words to meet different requirements out there. Scrabble lovers, you'll like this. Me and my wife enjoyed it a lot. 7.5. Snow Planner. Not much of a strong theme in this game, but it has some really good mechanisms and some interesting ideas to it. So another 7.5. Stomp the Plank. This is a kid's game with these planks where you're pushing your luck, drawing cards, and you're trying to add things to other people's planks to make them heavy so that they'll fall off. But if you fail, you move forward, which might make you fall off. A silly kid's game. My son loves it. We played it many, many times. For me, I'd give it a 7. Sudoku Forest. This is another one from Chip Theory Games, these solo games for kids, and I think it's the best one of the lot because it teaches the basics of Sudoku using animals, and I think it does a really good job. 8 out of 10. Switchbacks. This is a game from All Play, and you're basically putting out things in order. It's a very small game, and it's super mean. I don't mind meanness in a small package, though. 7 out of 10. Taffel King, which apparently is a really, really, really old game. Like we're talking from the year 400 or so, about a bunch of pawns protecting a king, and the other one's trying to capture that king. Everyone moves like a rook. I'm very impressed with this game. 8 out of 10. Tangram Adventure. This is the fourth one from the Chip Theory series of small games. This one you're building tangrams. So, it's still good for kids. 7 out of 10. Through the Desert from Reiner Knizia. This is the reprint from All Play. Amazing, fantastic game. Watch our review. They also had a lot of cool expansions, but I love this one. 9 out of 10. Topo Chef. This is a game in which you are memorizing numbers and moving a mouse around, putting cheese, and then trying to match the numbers. It works for kids. A little too much memory maybe for me, 6.5. Triversi. This is Reversi, but with 3 players. This game is super interesting. It's Othello for 3, but it just plays okay. It's still not amazing. It's a little chaotic, 6 out of 10. Virtual Revolution, really cool theme. You're in the future. You're controlling the city through virtual means. There might be a little too much going on to make this one great, but a lot of cool concepts. I really liked a lot of the things that this game does, especially the theme, 7 out of 10. Way Too Many Cats. This is a game in which, well, you're collecting cats, but you don't want too many cats, or too many kittens at least. And you are collecting kittens, you're collecting cats. It's a fun drafting game. I'm very impressed with this one from Weird Draft Games, an 8 out of 10. Word Traveler. This is a new game that players are moving around a board cooperatively, and you want to land on certain spots. You're giving people clues to get there. This is not the first time this game has been done. There's an R&R game that's similar to this, but this one does it in a clean way. I think this one might have some very strong mass appeal to it. I enjoyed it, 7 out of 10. And You Lying Sack, designed by Penn Jillette from Penn & Teller fame. Do I have good things in my hand or do I not? That's the entire game. Not good enough for a game. It's okay. 6 out of 10. Boom. There we go. 10 minutes and 57 seconds. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Those are my reviews of all these games. Like I said, we'll have longer form reviews of these games coming up in the future, or they're already up. Once I play another 30 to 40 games, I'll do this again. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel, and you just saw me review 41 games in 11 minutes.